This is JordangeVision. Pull up a seat and kick up your feet. Welcome, guys. How are we doing? It is time for another reaction to Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story, and we are at the midway point. We're now at episode 5. So what happened the last episode? Episode 4 touched on the burglary charge that the Menendez brothers were charged with before that first got them into contact with Dr. Aziel. It also touched briefly on Dominic Dunn touring the house for a Vanity Fair article. But the main theme of episode 4 was the confession by Erik to Leslie Abramson about the abuse that he got from his father and Lyle, and that his father also gave to Lyle. Kind of a chain reaction type of thing. So episode 4 kind of begins with Leslie Abramson and Lyle's lawyer as well, trying to get Lyle's side of the story. He's a bit of a tough nut to crack at first, but he eventually does confess that, that Jose started to molest him, kind of as a chain reaction, kind of as a monkey see, monkey do, I guess. He started doing the same to Erik. Eventually, he told Jose, "You need to stop doing this to me." Jose does stop doing it to him, but starts doing it to Erik, and Lyle finds out years later that he's still doing it to Erik. "I'm going to tell everybody, yada, yada, yada." And, Jose and Kitty as well kind of start threatening him, kind of make fun of them. It's a shit show. It really is. And they kind of develop reason to believe, I guess, that they think their parents are going to go after them. There's this big boat trip that they go on. They think that they're going to throw them overboard and drown them or something like that. They get back from the boat trip, and the parents say, there's something we need to talk about, and you need to come home with us. And they don't want to go home with their parents. They're scared. They think something's going to happen. So that's kind of what expedites their plan to kill their parents themselves. So, if that's really the case, that's kind of shocking. I never really heard that side of it before. I've heard about the abuse, but I never really heard that, their parents might kill them. That's kind of speculation, I think. I don't know if their parents actually did threaten to kill them or anything like that, but I can understand how they might have felt that might happen. The plot is definitely thickening in the story. We haven't even gotten to the trial part of it yet. There's 9 episodes in this thing. We're already at episode 5, and the trial hasn't began, so I got to imagine it's coming soon. Maybe it'll come in episode 5, so let's watch episode 5 and find out what's going on, alright? Here we go. Before I get started, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and don't forget, reacting to art is sharing art. Channels like these benefit everyone from the viewers all the way up to the original creators themselves. Also, reminder, spoilers are likely, so if you haven't seen this episode yet and would like to, please feel free to click off and take care of that first. I'll be here when you get back, but for those of you who are sticking with me, pull up a seat, kick up your feet. This is the Lyle and Erik Menendez story, episode 5, and the title is The Hurt Man. Let's see what that's all about. Alright, here we go. Alright, they're back in jail. Not a surprise, but...
Sorry.
It's okay. There's nothing else to do.
Ugh, I know, right? It's just terrible. You're locked up in here.
Defense attorney talk right there.
You don't smoke, do you?
No, never.
Good. It is a disgusting habit, and I will never kick it.
Smokers always say that, yeah.
My dad smoked. So just always disgusted me.
Good.
Just one more thing to hate about him, right? I'm in.
Don't ever start, okay?
Don't offer it to him then. That rich Carolina flavor that I just told you was disgusting.
How you doing in here?
Not great.
Sure.
It's jail, it's not
more
the Ritz.
that I found a friend who's just made being in here easier. But on Saturday he was just gone.
Oh no.
Yeah,
what happened to him?
It's just out of nowhere, so I've just been feeling kind of
Well,
lonesome.
they put him to death or something.
Yeah.
It was just a drug charge, I think, so
Well,
maybe
I'm
he got
sorry
out.
about Erik, I'm sorry about what we have to talk about now.
okay.
I
More of the hard
talked
stuff.
to Lyle. Actually asked Jill if I could just come talk to you alone today.
Oh, okay.
And she was okay with that.
I think I prefer this.
Okay, good.
Erik likes her.
About
In the days leading up to that night, that's what we talked about, kind of for the first time. Like we were comparing notes, I guess
Sure.
you could say.
Yeah. When
It
they
was
both
good
get
to
abused, yeah, that's what they gotta
finally
do, right?
talk.
just to ask, just to say it out loud, you believe him, yeah?
Well, duh. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I just want to keep underlining that for all of us is all.
He knows what happened to
However
himself.
much
Why
you
wouldn't he
love
believe what
this
happened to
man.
his brother?
However bad he had it, and I really do get this feeling from him. he feels you had it worse.
Probably he got it from both ends.
Yeah,
And he had it for
was,
longer, too.
Right
Lyle was
now,
the one who had the courage to tell
can't
Jose to
just-
stop.
I always felt like Lyle was my, my protector.
Even when he was abusing you?
Yeah.
It's an
I
interesting
just
feeling.
mean,
I can see
was
that,
like
though.
5 or well, because that's what Lyle said when he found out I was still. He was like mad, right?
Oh, he was pissed
And
right off.
He said, Eric, how could you let this happen? Like, do you like it or something? Because you could just run away. And I was like, well, because they always come find me. Every time I tried, they would find me. And
If you're gonna run away, you gotta commit to the whole thing, right?
What?
Well, that's when I had Coach Wadlington. I was 6 when I started with him. And
Oh, one of his tennis coaches,
I
maybe?
remember it didn't start out bad, you know?
Yeah.
It would just be after tennis or after swimming. And,
Okay. I mean, a massage feels good, and then it grows
well,
into that.
he loved Lyle, but he didn't love me. And I could tell, but he would also say it. He'd call me these names, and they were just...
What kind of
Just
names?
stuff you shouldn't say to a kid, like stupid or...
Okay.
Don't say that to
And
a
so
kid.
then you're always trying... And my mom she would do it too. They would gang up on me. Like, if I said I was scared of the closet, they'd lock me in the closet until I stopped screaming. And, well, it was just like,
Anti-parenting lessons 101, folks.
How long?
just
Ugh.
all afternoon, or until I stopped crying. And my mom would do it too, but it was mostly my dad.
Oh, man.
So when your dad thinks you're weak or, I don't know, too scared or something, like not
I
tough
hate these
enough.
kind of parents.
And, well, then you
And
start
finding
to
that
think,
Jose
well, I
is
guess
one of them, too, like, I'm not
I'm not tough
surprised.
enough. He takes you upstairs and says, let's take a shower. And like to see that side of him where he was,
Tender.
yeah. It was
Tender,
he
that's a good
could,
word to
like he
describe
could
it.
Stop, but around everyone else, and even when family was over, he would just call you those names, or he would hit you, and everyone would.
I mean,
everyone saw it.
if
But
everyone
when it was
saw it,
just
why didn't
you
they
and
do
him,
anything?
What?
That's when he'd tell me that he loved me.
When he was abusing you.
Yeah. It wasn't.
I mean, if all this is
it was
true,
just
Jose
the
Menendez was
massages
a total
at
whack
first.
job.
Being with my dad, where I felt like he cared about me.
And it's easy when you're that young to be manipulated
Those
into
were
thinking
my
that that's
favorite memories.
caring.
He would say, turn over, and he would do my front.
And by
Yeah.
friend.
He'd massage my penis.
Okay.
But
That's
it's-
going beyond a
It
massage.
still was, he'd be lying on his back, and I'd try to skip that part, and he'd say, no, you have to do that. And just then the mouth massages as I got
Mouth
older, and
massages.
like Lyle
Oh.
said, with the object. The toothbrush? Because I remember the day at school afterwards, there was a picture of a toothbrush on the bulletin board or whatever, just about like how you should go to the dentist.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I remember
recall in
thinking
that
of
must
the
have been-
toothbrush. And then when he started making me use my mouth, it was just...
Skin's
It was
crawling.
too big, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And doing that to him just seemed really dirty. And
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
but he would say, you did good, and good boy, and
Like he's a
it was
dog.
just the only time I felt like I had a real relationship with my dad, where I felt that he did love me. And
That's just sad hearing that.
he'd go, even though it felt dirty, it was also like I was the center of the world for once, And the objects were to
Manipulation is
get
strong on
ready,
that one.
preparing our bodies for something bigger. And at first, he made me do it to him.
Do.
Sex.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
to,
What?
in order to do that, you have to be.
Erect.
Yeah.
That's what was so weird about it.
Ooh.
I would cry,
Oh, man.
and it hurt. And he'd say, why can't you be like Lyle? Just be a Menendez and get used to it.
He missed doing it to
And I
Lyle.
he was comparing us again. Lyle and me. Like, I wasn't good enough again. And like, stuff that
And
he had
that's what he's
said
upset about. Like, it's not about
loving me,
being
like, that
abused.
was
It's about,
just gone.
the
Like,
inadequacy
that had
feeling.
never even,
From when?
junior high, I think.
So 11.
Mm-hmm.
Until
Right before.
right before they died?
Yeah,
Was
just
the-
a
That's a
few
long
months
time.
before.
Was I'm so sorry, Eric.
It's okay. It's just, you kind of,
You get through it.
yeah, and you just, survive, I guess. You live for
He
those
didn't
times
have a normal life
when-
at all.
It's like Christmas morning, you know, and you think, okay, I got through that. I'm not gonna have to do that for a while now, or maybe because this time it was knees, maybe next time it'll be nice sex, or maybe because
Sorry, knees.
well, that was
what's
another
knees?
one of the. He would finish, I guess, in my mouth, and I hated the taste of it. And that's why I started putting the cinnamon into his coffee and
Yeah, he
putting
mentioned that
lemon on
before.
my food. And
And what was rough sex like?
Do I want to hear this?
he would get mean, and he would punch me, and he was really strong. And I couldn't, I don't know why, but for some reason I just could never hit him back running away. Like,
Oh
it just
my
doesn't
God.
work. I'd have to kneel on the headboard, but like at the end of the bed, like the foot of the bed. But like, it'd be into my shins, so it'd be stuff to make it hurt. Open themselves
Like the
up to make
abuse isn't
things
enough,
not
right?
hurt. So I'd be inserting objects into my, or like, with my penis, like pins, or like he'd cut my leg. Like I've got a scar on my leg around your
The most
penis, like a
disturbed I've ever
rope,
been
or
watching
like.
a show like this.
Like, I don't.
No, it's not.
Like that's not what you do to someone you. That's what you do to someone you hate, you know.
Eric, you did not deserve
And
that.
he'd call me these like.
He grew up thinking
sometimes
this was
it
normal,
what he
too.
would say that I just wanted to say to him, like, if I'm such a then why are you asking me to fuck you in the ass?
Kind of
I
hypocritical,
don't
right?
know. This is a man who did such amazing stuff, you know. Like my dad was an amazing man. I loved him so much.
Even after all that, he can still say that.
And that's why Lyle used to say, you know, Eric, they'd be proud of us. And I'd always agree with him. But then later, I think, I mean, they're not proud that we killed them.
That's what I'm saying.
Then it just really occurred to me that,
What did?
that he probably would, you know? Like in heaven right now, he'd be looking down and he'd say, thank you, Eric and Lyle. You know, you
finally did something,
what
I
you had
guess.
to do to me. What I did to you was really wrong. And I love you. And you took that off my shoulders, or you took that off my soul, or whatever, if that makes
Oh, I hope it's
sense.
not off
I
his
don't know.
soul.
Or you made me into someone who doesn't do that anymore, is what Lyle meant, and what I mean.
Made him
that
into
now
someone
I
who doesn't
could.
do anything anymore.
Now,
I know a lot of very impressive people, and you are right at the top. With everything you have been through, and what you have had to do, and who you are right now, telling me all of this, the bravery, Eric.
you.
I'm not
He's
gonna
not
make
used to
this
being buttered
about
up
you,
without,
but,
you know.
you know, my father, this man that I loved, told me I was his little princess, and he just dropped off without so much as a word, ran away with another family, and I haven't heard from him in 34 years.
Sometimes you have that kind of father, too.
And
I'm so sorry.
well, thank you. Nothing like yours. I just this.
Both
which is
sides of the
just
coin of evil.
Mind-boggling. Okay, my father wasn't 1/10 of 1/1,000,000th of a percentage as bad as yours. Okay, just no comparison. And my brother, he's forgiven him. You know, he talks to him. But Eric, no fucking way will I forgive him for what he did.
That's
Not
very nice
now.
to hear right now.
Where was your mother in all of this?
Well, see, because she.
Okay, but let's not make excuses
he
for her.
cheated on her. And Lyle said he walked out on them one time and my dad was raping her.
The mother's a really complex
Well,
character,
that's-
too.
With Lyle, she would sometimes get naked.
Oh my god, Kitty, too?
This is your mother?
Yeah, it wasn't like it was with my dad. She just wanted us to think she had a nice body, and she liked ours, but it was just looking. Or
It's messed
when
up,
I was
too,
16,
but
she
not
started doing
exactly
this
the
thing
same.
where my mom would do this thing where she would inspect my
Penis?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
and you know she'd be like, "Why do you shave it all?" And I'd be like, "No, Dad did that," but I couldn't say that because, well, I had these
She knew all
girlfriends, and so
about
I think
Dad.
that she
We
also
found that
thought
out.
that I was. And her feeling that way was why I think she like made me get a girlfriend. But she would do the inspections, right? Like she would do
your-
these inspections of my because she was terrified of AIDS, and she would always check me for blisters, like on my penis.
All that's
And I
going on,
think
but
it
she's
was
terrified of
because
AIDS.
It was I think she knew that Dad and I were, so that, you know, if one of Dad's girlfriends had something,
Hold
and
on,
then I got it,
I
that
don't-
meant she could
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
I want to
and
go
then-
back for a second.
Yeah,
It's
he's
not
going real
important.
fast now.
Just
But why
forget
did she
that.
think you had AIDS?
No, it's not important,
Yeah,
actually.
but
Just
why
forget it.
would she think
I
that?
said it's not. She just
He did
wanted
kind
to
of
make
explain
sure, so
that.
she would do those. But
I'm
she was
sorry.
actually.
No, that's not a mother, Eric. Okay? And I am a mother. Wasn't the perfect one, I'm sure. Maybe that's why I want another shot at it, okay? I mean,
That's
I
why we got
know
that
you
little bit of
left her.
foreshadowing, too.
We were really
the
close.
adoption.
Lyle
I
and
know,
her-
but I'm sorry, let me just say this and we can go back because there were a lot of avenues that she could have taken there, okay?
There were.
She could have
She
gone
isn't
to
wrong.
the authority. She could have said, no, not my sons. You will not abuse my sons, right?
Yeah.
And that's a pretty low bar, okay? But I just want to say this to you, and I would say it to Lyle. You deserved better than her.
They both did.
Won't even mention your father, that goes without saying. That man is in a place, is all I'll say.
In a place is
But
right.
your mom too. Can you tell me why she thought you had AIDS? Can you just tell me?
If Jose had all these partners, then
I don't know what way
it would
you
make
are.
sense for her to at least
In
have
what way
that
you're
fear.
supposed to die, my mom. She called Lyle and me, and I don't think she meant it, but she screamed at us like, you're sociopaths. And a part of me was like, well, maybe we are sociopaths, but can you blame us if we are when you know what's been happening to us?
Very
The
good
feelings
point.
I have of I was kind of in love with a boy.
So he was, yeah.
Or like this boy, he didn't have a dad who did that to him. He was just always that way, but I'm not sure I was, and I'm not sure I am, but like I have those feelings. Like
Sometimes it
I
is
was
how
in
it
love with
starts, you
someone.
know.
and
It's complicated.
but when we had sex, then it wasn't like it was with my dad. It was
Nice.
Yeah, when you choose your partner, it's
it was
better.
really nice.
You're not having it thrust on you, you know?
I've done certain things, and so you're gonna say I'm one way, and you're gonna tell everyone I'm one way, but I'm
No,
not.
I'm not.
I'm actually no.
I'm not gonna tell anyone.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, I'm just saying I don't know. Okay, I don't know what I am. I can't tell what I am, and I never will be able to tell. Is what I'm saying.
I mean,
maybe I am.
when that's your
sociopath,
childhood, I
and
can
maybe
understand
should've
his
got
confusion,
AIDS.
too.
Like he broke me. I'm a broken person.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. He broke me in two. He cracked me in half. I am not a real person.
You
can't
are
be.
a real
When the
person.
only man you want to love does that to you, you stop being real.
You are.
It's intense, and it's just been this one shot the whole time, too. Like, it's just zoomed in on his face gradually.
I am the hurt man.
The hurt man, yeah. Hurt people, right?
It's me.
That's exactly what happened here.
I shot my mom in the face. And my dad, I think.
Yeah.
That's not a normal thing you do. So,
It's
I
true.
don't know what I am. And I don't think I'll ever
Abuse
know.
is abuse, murder is murder,
That's what
none
I
of it's normal.
realized inside. I will never really know who I am if I don't get out of here. I'll never know.
Wow. I just want to see how long that shot was. That was the whole episode. Oh my gosh. I was just going to check how far in I was, and that's it. I'm actually amazed. It went by like I was just entranced, I guess. But yeah, let's talk about it. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning into my reaction to episode 5 of the Lyle and Erik Menendez story. It was an interesting episode. It was a deep episode, even though, the whole thing was one shot, which is incredible. The episode was a shorter episode. It was only like 35 minutes or something like that, but the whole thing was one shot, which is, you don't really see that in TV. Like, one shot, 2 characters. It was all just Leslie and Erik having the conversation, and that was it. And, the meat of the conversation, just Erik talking about his history with his father, with Leslie, and Leslie being reassuring to him, saying, this is not normal, this is not something you should have went through. It didn't even feel like I was watching an episode of the Menendez show. It just felt like I was watching a conversation between this very vulnerable person and this person trying to help. Like, it almost didn't feel like the show. Maybe that's why it just tugged at me so much. Like I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Like, I knew something was going on. Like they scratched the surface before, but going into so much detail. Like, I don't know if that's based on a real interview they had or if they based it on, even if this interview might have been filmed before, I don't know. Amazingly, even though I was so disturbed by what I was hearing, it was like it flew by. It really did. Like, and you could see it, like, just when that shot ends, like, I'm just checking to see how far into the episode I am, and that was the whole episode. It's hard to summarize when the whole episode is like that, and it's just the whole conversation about like everything Erik went through and everything Leslie wanted to talk about with him, and when it touched on the mother too, like the mother like laying naked with them, and doing the checks, like she wanted to make sure he didn't have AIDS or whatever, which that's kind of a bullshit reason, because you can't tell someone has AIDS just by looking at their, yeah. It's kind of a hard one to summarize because the whole episode was just that, and the two of them sitting there and having a conversation. Like no cutaways, no anything. It was just a straight interview. It's bold to do an episode like that too, because because to see everything that's being talked about, you just have to rely on your imagination, right? And that's kind of what makes it so disturbing. Like you're not seeing it, so you kind of have to think about it to see what's going on, and that's what kind of swivels your brain that way. Yeah, like maybe it would even be less disturbing if you were actually looking at what was happening, but just hearing it, you have to imagine it in your own head. Yeah, a different kind of episode, an intense kind of episode, and yeah, we still haven't seen any trials, and there's 4 episodes left, so maybe we'll finally see some trial in episode 6, but we'll have to wait till episode 6 to find out. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Check out my sports vlogging channel, JordangeVision Sports. And once again, this is Jordan saying you can be productive sitting at home on your couch. All you need is a TV, a great catalog, and a vision. This has been JordangeVision. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one. Take care, and bye-bye.